Was not expecting to make a 6th video on the day so soon, but of course we are. Of course this was going to happen this way, because we had ourselves an article posted onto The Athletic by Christ Johnston. What he's hearing about the Hockey Canada players as day one passes in their potential NHL returns. This article was published just a few minutes ago, but hidden within is an update that I think Vegas Golden Knights fans might be a bit conflicted on. Take a look at this tweet by NHL News Puck Report NHL. Vegas Golden Knights almost certain as the eventual destination for Carter Hart as a free agent. No deal today, but he's eligible to sign, then register on October 15th. Sources cautioned against the Hurricanes and Mike McLeod being a done deal after recent pushback, via Christ Johnston on The Athletic. Now let's dive into some of the responses. Just read a lot of the tweets in the comment section of this tweet, and then we'll go over onto Reddit, also talk about Carter Hart's statistics. I mean, typical Vegas. Is this where all the bums go? Of course it's Vegas. Of course it would be Vegas. Of course, man. Of course. If there was going to be any team to go out there and get Carter Hart back in the NHL, it was going to be Vegas. Like, let's be real. And if you wanted the particular quote itself, this article was posted onto the R Hockey subreddit as well by A. Took, and there is indeed a comment here, transcript from the piece. Carter Hart appears closest to signing a contract with the Vegas Golden Knights, almost certain to be the eventual destination for the 27-year-old goaltender, according to league sources. Hart received interest from multiple NHL teams and is drawn to the opportunity to play for a contender in a situation where he'd likely end up sharing the crease with Adin Hill. Ugh, he's not even very good. This was also written about in the piece here. Things are a little murky when it comes to the other players. There were reports last month that Mike McLeod would sign with the Hurricanes, but this week, a league source cautioned against viewing that as a done deal in light of the pushback the organization has received since word of their interest leaked. While members of the team raised no issue with the possibility of bringing in one of the players, those guys have been through the whole thing and came out acquitted, Hurricanes captain Jordan Staal told The Athletic's Mark Lazarus recently. I'm sure all of them regret what went on and what happened, but are moving forward and moving on. More than 1,600 fans had signed a petition against a possible move as of Wednesday. Now, firstly, I'm just going to say I'm kind of surprised that the Carolina Hurricanes actually use some part of the fans' reception in their decision-making process and have cautioned against signing Mike McLeod. I'm actually kind of surprised that they listen to their fans in that way. Also, good on the fans for speaking up and saying what it is that they feel and signing the petition to get their voices involved. However, we always knew that when it came to the Canada players, Carter Hart was going to have probably, I'm going to phrase my words carefully here, the easiest path to return to the NHL, at least the path with the least amount of hiccups, because plain and simple, goaltenders around the National Hockey League are kind of a commodity nowadays, especially since league save percentages are going down. And you can say what you want about whether or not Carter Hart is actually a good enough goaltender to be an NHL player, but his last season in the league did see him get a .906 save percentage in 26 games. He had a .907 in 55 games the year before that, and a .905. Of course, the .914 back in 2019-20 stands out as probably some of his best work, and the subsequent .926 in the playoffs that season as well. Carter Hart, you can say that he fell off. That's fair. His numbers were not as good recently than they were even further back. But in a position where the National Hockey League save percentages are going down, I think goaltenders are going to get a much easier way to get jobs in this hockey league. And for Vegas, of course it was going to be Vegas. They do all the controversial stuff, and they get everybody whose name enters the fray as being potential trade targets or free agent targets. They get everybody, man, and now they're getting Carter Hart too, at least via Christ Johnston. That seems to be the likely destination, the eventual destination. It's almost certain, as reported by Christ Johnston over here. And I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about this acquisition? For me personally, I'm thinking about it like, why does Vegas even need Carter Hart? Adin Hill was just fine this most recent campaign. I mean, if you're going to be believing in Adin Hill to be a Olympic caliber goaltender, I mean, you can go out there and say that a 906 save percentage is passable. Maybe you're kind of doubting it because of the 887 he had in the playoffs, but Adin Hill is still Adin Hill. And this is still a guy that was able to put up a 9.32 all those years ago when the Vegas Golden Knights went out there and won the Stanley Cup. So, with this in mind, let me know your thoughts in the comments section below about Carter Hart being internal competition for Hill in Vegas. It's the battle of the four-lettered last-named goaltenders in the Golden Knights organization. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.